Minasan, karinasai, today one of the smaller seiyuu, small in height, not small in celebrity status, but a gorgeous and very talented singer whose music you've definitely heard, you just may not have realized it. Yoshino Nanjo, also known as Aya Tachibana, born July 12, 1984 in Shizuoka Prefecture, currently affiliated with Voice Kit Agency. Her family consists of her parents, her younger brother, and herself, and her mother works as an animator. Yoshino herself graduated from the RMAS Professional Education Yoyogi Animation School. And honestly, that's all I could really find for her origin story, so let's just jump right into her career, her very, very successful career. 2006, she made her debut with the supporting role of Crush Elendia in the anime R Tonelico, and this year she also had Aya Sugimoto in Soul Link. In 2007, she voiced Koko Tsukushima in Da Capo. Then in 2008, she had Uni in Hitman Reborn, a pretty big show for so early in her career. 2009, her music career began when she was named as the new lead vocalist of Fripside. Not long after performing Only My Railgun, the opening theme of a certain scientific railgun. She also started landing more anime roles, like Cal in Voice Survive, Maria Osawa in Kanon, and even having a role in Scientific Railgun as Maya Awatsuki. 2010 was the big year though. She debuted as Ellie Ayase in the Love Live franchise, joining the live-action Muse and later their subunit BB, something that clearly boosted her popularity, as the next few years she would have herself about 3 times as many roles as prior years. But still in 2010, she had Kokoro Akechi in Milky Homes, working alongside fellow Muse members Mimo-chan and Soromaru, and she also had Aiko Kudo in Baka and Test. 2011, in April, she transferred agencies to Amuletto. Exciting, I know. I'm actually now just realizing I didn't mention what her first agency was. It was Doango Artist Production. Fantastic name. Anyway, she voiced Reka Tatsunagi in Cardfight Vanguard. Also Tsubasa Amani in the second season of Quasar of Stigmata. I assume this is where she met Yoko Hikasa, who would later become a very good friend of hers. She was also Otahime Yamato in Makin Ki, a very average degenerate anime, so if you're interested in that, go for it. But she even had another lead role, that being Hana Matsuzaka in Morita-san wa Mukuchi. 2012, at the end of the year, she made her solo debut as an artist with the release of her mini-album Kataru Moa. Most of her notable anime roles were all second seasons, but I will mention 3 new ones. Akiho in Robotics Notes and Sayuri Kakinuma in Another, a great gateway horror show. She had another lead role as well, Gankyo Kuribiyutai in Joshiraku, a really fun slice-of-life show with an amazing iconic ending theme. 2013, she released a photo book, which she had a collaboration with fellow Muse member Yurika Kubo, titled In Jewel Shika. Kubo modeled while Nanjo took the photos. This was also when the Love Live anime aired, and she reprised her role of the lovely Ellie. A new anime role for her would be Shirabe Tsukuyomi in the Symphogear series, and she sang the first ending theme for Tokyo Ravens, her song Kimi ga Emu Yogure. Lastly for this year, Fripside's song Sister's Noise was the best-selling song for the whole week of May 20th. 2014, she had Neo Hashiri in Riddle Story of Devil, also singing the ending theme of episode 11, and voicing multiple characters in the Pre-Para series, those being Nao Ehime, Nanami Shiroi, and Nene Tokuda. And then she sang the ending theme for The Fruit of Grisaya, the song The World You Loved. In 2015, she left the Amuletto agency and joined Office Engine the next day. Engine spelt with a hyphen in between the 2 syllables, and it is a J, not a G, so it has nothing to do with cars. Also, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever heard of this agency. Later on in the year, she had an accident during training which actually severely injured her knee. Since then, she has been unable to perform in highly physical activities. But on a positive note, in June, she released her first solo photo book, Jioru Tabi, which was photographed in Guam. Then her 3rd single, Starlight of the Twilight. Then her 4th single, To Search for You, both of these being Grisaya endings. There was also her first album, Tokyo 1 by 3650. I don't know if you're meant to read this as a mathematical fraction. I originally thought it was a typo and meant to be 1 over 365, like how many days there are in a year. But no, there's definitely a 0 at the end there. I would insert a confused face, but I'm probably too lazy to do that. So let's move on to her anime roles, which is basically the same thing as 2014, minor stuff, and second seasons, although she was Risa Aoi in Gate. Her roles in general start to shorten here as she was more focused on her music career. But in 2016, she had the lead role of Elise Hohenstein in Schwarzmarken, a spin-off of Move, also singing the opening with Fripside. And she was Sensei Yui Saito in And You Thought There Was Never a Girl Online. Great show, stupid name. She also sang the ending theme of this one, her 5th single, Zero Ichi Kiseki. And there was her 2nd full-length album, En no Hako. 2017, Naoto Miura in Clockwork Planet, singing the opening theme as well. Sonia in Berserk, yikes, singing the ending theme though, Isai wa Monogatari. I think that cover perfectly captures our thought when this season aired. Another lady she lent her voice to is Maria in Adam the Beginning, with her 6th single Beginning of Light as the ending. This is a prequel to Astro Boy, by the way, and she also voiced the narrator of episode 8 in Makaruna, which is the anime based off of Sora Tokui's manga. To end off this year, her 3rd album, Santo Rora. The year of 2018, Seira-san in the anime battle royale show Killing Bites. And of course, she sang the opening with Ripside. There's also Liang Mingjia in Karakuri Circus, actually a fun and unique show. And she released 2 best-of albums, The Memories of Apartment Originals version and anime version. 2019, she had Maki Inohara in Grisaya Phantom Trigger the movie, finally having a role in the series, but of course, she sang the ending theme as well, which was called Planet of Goodbyes. And she also voiced Haru Akimoto in My Roommate is a Cat, a fun slice-of-life series, and I'm sure you can guess what it's about. Also, her track Next to You, My Place, was the ending theme. Cute cover. Really fitting name, too. Next up, there's something fun. She won an award at the 13th Seiyu Awards. She was awarded for being the most influential individual on various social media. And I mean, she does have 1 million followers on Twitter, so I guess that's a given. And lastly, she released a compilation of some live versions of her songs, titled Live a Life. Or maybe it's Live a Life. English is really stupid. 2020, she had Maeve Hoshisato in Hatana Illusion. Fellow Love Live member Aina Suzuki is the lead in this. And there was Chloe in Lapis Relights, in my opinion a very underrated idol franchise, and Lupine in King's Raid. Very mid-show, but she sings the opening with Ripside, while Riho Ida sings the second ending theme. Nanjo herself also sang the ending for Bungo and Alchemist, her song Yabo no Nako no Synthes. And her 11th single, Namida Nagaruru Mam, was yet another Grisaya theme. Lastly, for this year, she had a lot of stuff going on. She gave us an acoustic album, Acoustic for You. In 2021, she voiced the new character Lala Shonoi in the 3rd season of Yatogame-chan, and Karen Kanazuki in The Fruit of Evolution, and she sang the opening, titled Evolution, while Pop and Party sang the ending. Also, the cast is stacked with Bandori and Muse girls, so if that interests you, definitely check this one out. And then there was her 4th album, A Tiny Winter Story. How cute. Last year of 2022, she sang the ending theme Hitori to Kimito, which was for the anime The Princess Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt. She had the role of Condor Tsubasa in Hanabi-chan, and her 5th and most recent album, Journey's Trunk. And then a really massive thing for her, this was the year that she graduated from Fripside, after about 13 years of activities. So for this year of 2023, she has released her newest song, Queen of Fairy Sky, the theme for the movie Pole Princess, which hasn't aired yet, but she will voice Yukari Mikoshiro, and this cast is stacked, like always. She also voiced Misaki Nagatoro, the big sister to the titular character in the new season of Don't Tease Me, Miss Nagatoro, as well as Kane Von Silford in the Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure. She also reprised her role in a new season of Fruit of Evolution. And as of this video, she is currently not in any shows that are airing. I also usually go over minor unnamed roles in decently sized shows, but I've already went over everything worth mentioning in her illustrious career. Well, in terms of anime at least. So now let's get into a little more music, specifically with her group Fripside. The openings I did mention are shows that she voices in, but there's anime where she only sings the opening as Fripside, which doesn't include her solo stuff. So these anime include Black Bullet, Seraph of the End, specifically the recap episode of Season 1, and the opening for Season 2. There's also Ajin Season 2, Boarding School Juliet, and Future Card Buddy Fight 100. There is a few more, but those are the more popular shows. They've also done a couple movie endings for Hayate no Gotoku and Black Fox. She's been in a little over 40 video games, one of those first being Artone Liko, Melody of Elemia? Melody of Elemia? Yeah, that sounds better. Anyway, it's a PS2 JRPG, which was the same as her first anime role. There was also the game for Soul Link, which again was one of her first anime. But other more popular things she's voiced in are Soul Calibur 5, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, and Fire Emblem Heroes, Final Fantasy XIV along with all of its expansions, Trials of Mana, and Higurashi. There's the usual Magia Record and Grand Blue Fantasy, then Love Live, obviously, along with the other anime tie-ins, Milky Homes, and Robotics Notes. As for live-action dubbing and foreign films, she was in East of Eden, a Korean drama that has nothing to do with the Japanese anime of the same name, and a 1954 American movie, Roman Holiday. She also had voice roles in the 2018 animated Grinch movie and The Secret Life of Pets 2. And she has had a voiceover in the live-action Japanese movie, Brave Story Online, Our Story of Final Fantasy XIV. She voices the person who wrote the original blog post that inspired the movie. And for the final career section, live shows and concerts. Most of the Muse lives, except for the New Year's live back in 2013 due to her commitments with Flipside, also being at the Love Live Fest in 2020, and she's had a lot of solo events, even being guests at other Seiyu lives like singing with Kusun back in the day. And she's been invited to many events throughout her many years of singing, a lot, most of which are harder to come by for us foreigners though. But you can assume she's had a solo event and been a guest at a smaller festival every year, like the Kyoto Premium Live, since around 2013. But over at the two big festivals, she's been at Animax every single year since her debut, 2013 to last year's 2022, aside from 2020. She's basically their mascot at this point. Almost all of those years, she was there with Flipside as well, aside from 2014 and 2020 onwards. Now when it comes to Anisama, she calms down quite a bit, since that's more Suzuko Momori's territory. Not actually, it's just an odd coincidence that Momori has been at that fest every single year since her debut, like Nanjo has been at Animax. But her Animelo appearances include, only being a solo act in 2014 and 15, then being with Muse from 2012 to 2015, and with Flipside every year from 2010 to 2017, excluding 2012 and 16. Shoutouts to her last appearance in 2017 where she opened with her good friend Atsuko from the group Angela. Then a shoutout to Animax in 2019 performing a Railgun song with Poppin' Party. Fun facts time now. She is 150 centimeters or 4'11". On the socials, she has both Instagram and Twitter. And as I said earlier, having over 1 million followers on the Bird app. There's also a YouTube channel which has most of her music, usually just the audio, but she does have some music videos on there. And she has her weekly radio program on there. No subs unfortunately, but there is video so you can admire her beauty. Her hobbies include playing with cats, cafe hopping, photography, and illustrations. Her favorite subject in school was arts, and her worst subject was physical education. I'm sure that's a surprise to nobody. She used to have a dog in her old house, but now she lives alone in Tokyo and owns 2 cats named Mugi and Chibi. But back to the dog for a minute, she once wrote a song about said doggo after it passed away to thank it for the memories they shared together. Prior to revealing this information, people thought the song was about a marriage. When she was asked if she was interested in getting a boyfriend when she was in high school, she said she was much more interested in anime and manga rather than boys. She is the oldest member of Muse, and the oldest member in the whole franchise, and also the shortest member of Muse, and during her time, she co-hosted the Nozo LE Radio Garden with Aina Kusuda. Because she loves using wigs, blogs, and magazine photos of her taken within the same period can often reflect very different hairstyles and lengths. She usually keeps the hair short though when she's not doing any public appearances, and she also wears glasses when she is off the stage. On April 1st of 2013, the 6-person Seiyu unit AKB84, composed of Kenji Akabane, Marina Inoue, Ryohei Kimura, Toshiyuki Toyonaga, Yoshino Nanjo, and Yuki Ono, was announced. The AKB comes from Akabane's name, while the 84 refers to the year that all 6 Seiyu were born in. Although I'm pretty sure Marina was born in 85. Which is also the voice of Armin, by the way. Absolute legend. Also, in case it wasn't obvious, this was an April Fool's joke and a play on AKB48. And finally, the nickname Nanjono was given to her by her friend Haruka Hitomi when they were in the same agency together. A portmanteau of the words Nan from her family name and Ojo, meaning young lady. She has also gone by the nickname of simply Ojo, which was given to her by a co-host from the Da Capo radio show. And with that, we have reached the ending. Nanjo is arguably the most successful Seiyu in the whole Love Live franchise, even if she's more of a singer than a Seiyu these days. She has that infinite youth syndrome, and I know she's a lot of people's favorite, so if I missed anything important, feel free to drop it down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed and learned something new. Please join me in the next one, the final current Iris member I have yet to cover. I look forward to seeing you there.